Hello children, good afternoon. How are you? Now again we are here. Today we are going to see a new chapter, system of particles and rotational motion. Like that of fan is moving, earth is moving. So we are going to see another part of our physics syllabus, that is system of particles and rotational motion, in which first we are going to see chapter 7, system of particles and rotational motion. In this chapter, first we are going to discuss some basic concept regarding this chapter, that is center of mass of any system. First I want to define here what is system. So here, dear my children, in this chapter first I am going to see in an introduction part, say, first I want to define a term here, a rigid body. What do you mean by a rigid body here? Say in our daily life, say this is a duster. Every particle of this duster are attached to each other. If I am moving this duster from here to here or here to here, the full duster is going from one place to the another place. So in our daily life, this type of system may be considered as a rigid body system. But in universe, there is no single system which we can call perfectly rigid body. If I applied a certain force on this duster, that will break down. It is clear? So I want to explain here that we shall consider ideally a rigid body is that. What do you mean by rigid body here? The rigid body is that which has a definite size, and definite shape, like that of our duster. Definite shape. Is that clear? It is a definite shape. This is because distance between the different pair of particles of such a body do not change. They are fixed. The position of the particle do not change on applying any force on it. If I am applying a force on this duster, say like this, the distance in between the particle does not change. So such type of system is called rigid body. Is it called rigid body here? So however, I just told you no real body. However, no real body is truly rigid, as real bodies are deformed under the action of forces applied on them. If I apply a large force on this duster, then definitely the shape and size of the duster may be changed. Is it clear? Yes, sir. So, dear children, but in many situations the deformation are often negligible. Once we applied a force on duster, the position of the duster does not change. That's why we may call it a rigid body. Okay? Yes. Now for describing the motion of rigid bodies, we shall introduce the concept of center of mass. So first concept of this chapter, that is center of mass. Okay? So what is that? This concept enables us to understand how can we apply the Newton's laws of motion on any system. We are going to see. The concept of a system, first I am seeing here the concept of a system the concept of a system. Concept of a system in which two type of forces act. One is internal forces and another one is external forces. Another one is external forces. Suppose this duster is in this particular shape. The molecules of the duster are attached to each other. They are not free to move individually. So such type of force is called internal forces of these molecules. Or the external force which act on this duster, the outer side force which acts on the duster like this, I am applying a force. That is called external force on this particular system. So this duster is called a system. Yes? Yes, sir. So every body of a finite size is made up of a very large number of particles. Suppose this is a block. So every body of finite size is made up of a very large number of particles. It is almost impossible to describe the position and velocities of all the particles individually. We cannot say here the particle की velocity क्या है, यहाँ velocity क्या है, यहाँ velocity क्या है. We cannot say. Whole body is going along in this direction, say. So we therefore to devise a method to describe the overall motion of this body. For this I introduce the concept of a system. So this block is called a system, or this duster is called a system. Okay. The collection of any number of particles interacting with one another are called a system. So write down the definition of system. What is that? What do you mean by system? A collection of any number of particles. A collection of any number of particles. Any number of particles. Any number of particles interacting with one another. Interacting with one another is called a system. Here we can say when the particles interacting with one another means the particles are exerting force on one another. Particles are exerting a force from one particle to the another particle, which I can say. So these forces alone enable them to form a well-defined system. Our duster is called a well-defined system. ये पार्टिकल इसके ऊपर फोर्स लगा रहा है, ये पार्टिकल इसके ऊपर फोर्स लगा रहा है. They are enabled to apply a force. So dear children, I can say any object of the finite size can be regarded, any object say like this, of a finite size, a definite size है उसका, they may call as a system. Okay? Yes. Now, all the forces exerted by various particles of the system, say here, are the various particles of the system. इसका इसके ऊपर, इसका इसके ऊपर, जो force लग रहा है यहाँ पर, these force in between the particles of the system जो लग रहा है वो कहलाएगा internal force. क्या कहलाएगा बच्चों? Internal force. Internal force between any two particles of the systems are mutual. इसका इसके ऊपर, इसका इसके ऊपर, both are mutual. So internal forces between a pair of particles, internal forces between the pair of particles are equal and opposite according to the Newton's third law of motion. Hence such forces cancelled out in pairs. That's why the body are in a particular shape. पड़ा पड़ा उसकी shape change नहीं होती है. Now I have to move or stop an object. अगर इस object को ये चलाना है या अगर ये चल रहा है तो रोकना है. If I want to move a object or if I want to stop a object, so I have to apply a force on the object from the outer side. मेरे को इसको पकड़ना पड़ेगा या इसको धक्का देना पड़ेगा. So I have to apply the force and that force is called external force. that force is called external force. So overall motion of the body is affected by that force which we are applying here, external force only. Now, before we will be going to the concept of center of mass, I want to introduce you some type of motion that is kind of motion of a rigid body. Either the motion is translational motion or a rotational motion. So we are going to learn, before we will rush to the concept of center of mass, here we are going to discuss kinds of motion of a rigid body. Kinds of a motion of a rigid body. Here, the first is a rigid body may have three kinds of motion. First is pure translational motion. Pure translational motion. Here. In pure translational motion, every particle of the body has the same velocity at a particular instant of time. Suppose here it is an inclined plane and block. Here suppose it is a block. It is at an angle theta. Suppose in this block, say particle P1, here is a particle P2, the P1 is moving like this or P2 is moving like this. They all are moving in this manner. So every particles of the body has the same velocity at a particular instant of time. In this figure, a rectangular block slides down. A rectangular block slides down on an inclined plane. This particle at this time has a particular velocity, and this particle at this time has a particular velocity. Say at any point P1, P2 of the block, that any instant of time moves with the same velocity, because we are considering here it is a rigid body and all the particles of this body are moving together with the same velocity. That is called translational motion. That is called translational motion. Even I can say like this, here a particle is moving in this manner, ये इस प्रकार से जा रहा है एक particular direction में. That is called translational motion. Is it clear? Yes. Now, what do you mean by pure rotational motion? Another kind of motion is a pure rotational motion. Pure rotational motion. Now, suppose this is the axis and here is an rigid body. Okay, this system, say along z axis, it is moving in this manner anti-clockwise with an angular velocity omega. We have learnt earlier, omega is our angular velocity, and like that of fan is rotating about this road. The road is called axis, and every particle of this rigid system, suppose a particle P1 and another particle is P2, another particle is P3, it is rotating like this, here in this circle, here in this circle, here in this circle. The center of each particle here is on this axis, say like this, C1, C2, C3. So in such a motion, a rigid body rotates about a fixed axis. This rigid body rotates about this fixed axis. This is our fixed axis. Okay. Every particle of the body moves in a circle which lies in a plane perpendicular to the axis and has its center on this axis. So we are considering here three different particles, P1, P2, P3 like this. Okay. So we can say, my dear children, angular velocity omega of all the particles is same because this rigid body rotates irrespective of their distance from the axis of rotation. This distance is different for each. ये distance कहलाती है small r. Small r we can say. Okay? This is because the body being rigid, all particles complete one revolution together about this given axis. However, their linear velocities v is equal to r omega. This is the formula of linear velocity and angular velocity. This is different depending on the distance. अगर डिस्टेंस ज्यादा है r, तो ये लीनियर वेलोसिटी हमारे पास ज्यादा है. ओमेगा इज कांस्टेंट. So you can say here the linear velocities are different for each particle, but angular velocity are same. So such type of motion is called rotational motion. Is called rotational motion. Okay? Yes. Now the third type of motion, combination of translational and rotational motion. Combination of these two. Combination of translational plus rotational, दोनों ही साथ साथ हो रहा है. This is third kind of motion. Suppose this is our inclined plane having angle theta here. Here is a spherical body here. When a cylinder rolls down on an inclined plane, its motion is a combination of rotation about a fixed axis. ये वाला हिस्सा जो यहां पर चल रहा है, दिस इज ट्रांसलेशनल मोशन, और बॉडी यू मूव कर रही है लाइक दिस, दैट इज कॉल्ड रोटेशनल मोशन. Here suppose the particle is P1, here the particle is P2, here the particle is P3, and here the particle is P3, and here the particle is P4, say like this. As the cylinder shifts from top to bottom, यहां से नीचे आ रहा है of inclined plane, the points P1, P2, P3 and P4 on the rolling cylinder having a different velocities at a particular instant of time. At all points P1, P2, P3 and P4 velocities are different. If the cylinder were to roll without slipping, so velocity of the point of contact, that is P3, would be 0 at any instant of time. तो यहां पर ये ट्रांसलेशनल मोशन हो रहा है, यहां पर रोटेशनल मोशन हो रहा है. इज दैट क्लियर? तो इट इज कॉल्ड अ कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ दीज टू. तो इन दिस डिस्कशन ऑफ दिस डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ मोशन, आई कैन से द मोशन ऑफ अ रिजिड बॉडी which is not pivoted or fixed in some way is either a pure translational motion or pure rotational motion. Is it clear? Yes, sir. Now draw the figure. Now we are going to see the concept of center of mass. This is the first topic of our chapter. What is center of mass? Concept of center of mass. आगे चलकर इसको हम केवल CM लिखेंगे. I am going to discuss the overall motion of the system. So center of mass of a body or a system, center of mass of a body or a system or a system of bodies or a system of bodies of a body or a system of bodies as a point at which the entire mass of the body, the entire mass of a body or a system, entire mass of a body or a system or a system of bodies or a system of bodies is supposed to be concentrated, is supposed to be concentrated. Is it clear? So read it again. Center of mass of a body or a system of bodies as a point at which the entire mass of a body or a system of bodies is supposed to be concentrated. एक पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट के ऊपर सारा मास मान के चलेंगे अपन. तो here we are going to see the center of mass of a two particle system. Center of mass of a two particle system. It's a very important article. So write down center of mass of a two particle system. Here. For that, I am doing here. Suppose here is the three-dimensional coordinate system, x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Here we are taking the 2 points A and B. Here it is the B, those two particles. Say of mass m1 and m2 respectively. The position vector of the particle A is r1 with respect to origin. Here is the position vector is r2. Suppose the center of mass of these two particles is C. ये मान रहे हैं अपन. And the position vector of the center of mass is capital R. Is that clear? So O be the origin of a rectangular coordinate system x, y and z. M1 and M2 are the two particles A and B respectively, where OA is equal to R1 and OB is equal to R2. C be the position of the center of mass of this system of two particles, where OC is equal to R. It is the position vector of center of mass. I want to evaluate R. I want to evaluate R. This is my problem. For that, suppose V1 and V2 are the velocities of particles M1 and M2 respectively. V1 and V2 are the velocities of the particles at any time t. So I can write here V1 is equal to dr1 by dt. Similarly, V2 is equal to dr2 by dt. Rate of change of displacement is called velocity. Suppose F1 is the external force applied on the particle of mass m1. It is the external force applied on the particle m1. Similarly, F2 is the external force applied on the particle m2. F12 here, it is the internal force on m1 due to m2. इसकी वजह से इसके ऊपर लगने वाला force, that is F12 here. Similarly, F21, this is the internal force on m2 due to m1 here. F21. So F12 and F21 both are equal and opposite. The linear momentum of the first particle P1 is equal to, that is m1v1. Then according to the Newton's second law of motion, what is that we have learned? So according to the Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of linear momentum, of a body or of the particle is equal to the total force acting on that particle, which is the total force, it is the external force and it is the internal force F1 plus F12. That is equal to rate of change of momentum dP1 by dt here. Is that clear? Where P1 is equal to d by dt of m1v1 here. Small f1, that is the external force, F12 capital, that is the internal force. Similarly, equation of motion of the second particle. So I can write here F2 plus F21 here. And that is equal to d by dt of m2v2 here. Adding these two equations, what is that? d by dt of m1 v1 plus d by dt of m2 v2 is equal to f1 plus f12 plus f2 plus f21. दो इंटरनल एक्सटर्नल फोर्स है, दो इंटरनल फोर्स है, but f12 and f21 both are equal and opposite, so they may cancel out. So they will cancel out here and here. So only the force remains f1 plus f2 here. This is the total external force on the system of the two particles. This is the total external force which is acting over here. So here our first equation is, what is that? V1 is equal to dr1 by dt, V2 is equal to dr2 by dt. So now this is the total force, say F. So I can write here d by dt of here m1 v1, that is the dr1 by dt, ऊपर लिखा हुआ है, प्लस m2 और dr2 by dt here, and this is equal to f here. Write down. So here the d by dt of m1 dr1 by dt, m2 dr2 by dt. So I can say here d by dt of here m1 r1 plus m2 r2 here. This is equal to f. What is this? This is the double differential. d2 by dt square, बोलने का तरीका ध्यान रखने का, d2 by dt square m1 r1 plus m2 r2, this is equal to f here. Multiply and divide this equation by m1 plus m2. Multiply and divide this equation by m1 plus m2. So what we are getting? m1 plus m2 से मल्टीप्लाई किया और इसी से डिवाइड कर दीजिए आप, d2 by dt स्क्वायर m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2 is equal to f. If I suppose m1 plus m2 d2 by dt square, इस क्वांटिटी को मैं कैपिटल R लिख रहा हूं, that is equal to f. This R is equal to here m1 r1 plus m2 r2 divided by m1 plus m2. This is the position vector of the center of mass of the two particle system. This is. So what I can write here, m1 plus m2 into R is equal to m1 r1 plus m2 r2. This is mass, d2 by dt square, डबल डिफरेंशियल ऑफ पोजीशन वेक्टर है ये, तो मास इनटू एक्सेलरेशन, ये पूरी टर्म एक्सेलरेशन है ये, इज इक्वल टू एफ. दिस इज द न्यूटन सेकंड लॉ ऑफ मोशन. So what is the result came out here? In this equation that we have written here, this is the equation. The position vector of a center of mass of a two particle system is such that the product of the total mass of the system here, the product of the total mass of a system and position vector of a center of mass, इसका और इसका product है ये, position and product of the position vector of a center of mass is equal to the sum here, the sum of the product of the masses of the two particles and their respective position vectors. Is that clear? Yes. So dear children, this is the position of center of mass of a system. That is the product of the total mass, again I am repeating, and position vector of a center of mass is equal to the sum of the particles of the masses of the two particles at their respective distance. Okay? Now, if the center of mass of the two particle system were at origin, suppose the center of mass is at origin, say r is equal to 0. In our equation this, जब r is equal to 0 हो जाएगा तो m1 r1 plus m2 r2 is equal to 0. So I can write here r2 is equal to minus of m1 r1 divided by m2. अगर मैंने कहा ये r यहां पर हो तो this equation shows that r1 is negative. R1 is negative, that's why it is in left. And R2 is positive. R1 is negative, but R2 is positive. It means M1 lies on the left of the origin and M2 lies on the right of the origin. So center of mass of the two particle system lies always on this straight line joining these particles. Is it clear? That is the way to find out the center of mass. If I suppose that M1 is greater than M2, अगर ऐसा कह दूं मैं, if I suppose M1 is greater than M2, तो M1 M2 से ज्यादा होगा, R1 is less than R2. Center of mass of the two particle system lies closer to the heavier particle. Closer to the heavier particle. That is there. You can see here. So center of mass divides internally the line joining the two particles in the inverse ratio of their masses. Is that clear? And one particular case, when the two particles are of equal masses, suppose M1 is equal to M2 is equal to M, then according to our above equation, put M R is equal to, हर जगह MM रख दो, MR1 plus MR2 here in the earlier equation. So that is equal to M into R1 plus R2. Yes. So here you can say R is equal to twice M, नीचे जाएगा M से M कैंसिल हो जाएगा, तो R1 plus R2 by 2. अगर दोनों के मास सेम है तो सेंटर ऑफ मास इनके बीच में होगा बिल्कुल. Center of mass of two particles of equal masses lies exactly midway between them. Here in between them. This is that. Okay? So this is all about today's module. Center of mass of a two particle system. Okay? Bye.